Here we've got a 2021 Freedom Elite. This particular one is the FE layout. It's a 22 footer. I kind of like these things. Either the Four Winds or the Freedom Elite, I think, are a decent choice in their class. So give me a second here. I have to walk around it and look for scratches, all the things. You just get to look at it. Like there's that pipe thing coming out of the water heater here. I think that's normal. The dealership will fix it. Storage, not a ton of storage. I mean, it's tiny, right? It's just a little box. It has a light. This one's pretty cute inside, I would say. The chassis is a Ford Econoline 350, so it's like a van front. Pros and cons of that, I think. So it's a gas-powered engine. It's probably going to be the same, I guess, as the V8. Gas mileage, you're going to get maybe 9 or 10. That's my thought. And then this pop out here is going to be for the bed. That's small, probably not going to break on you anytime super soon. If you care, like this is all straight from the factory. And so if you walk around these things, like there's all these water damage or overspray or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, if you do this at the factory, they don't change. The Onan 4000. So they must have some. That's decent power for something this size. You get your propane. There's the hot water heater. You get your connections here. Everything's sort of in the open, right out in front of you. Well, cool. Let's hop inside real quick. Finishing my thought is if you walk around like all these dealerships, now this is impressive. They're starting to get a little weight to their outside doors. It's still not like super sturdy so you can put weight on it, but this looks like an improvement. The storage is pretty, since we all care about the beauty of our storage spaces. But yeah, I think you'd be surprised how many little dings and stuff there are upon close inspection. Like here, you can see it's like dirt or stained, scratches. So yeah, I have to do it just because I have to. And half the time that it doesn't even matter. They'll still charge me. But you get the point. There's only so much walking around we can do. And that is still locked. My guess is that the vans have the same layout. The seats are vinyl or cloth. Vinyl isn't the right word. And in this case, they come fairly damaged. Like there's just, look at this. It looks like trash. So a lot of this is really the dealer's responsibility. The dealer Has to sort of shine it up, and they'll send it out from the factory looking like this. Speaking of, check it out. I like this interior. Wood is not expensive. It's kind of cheap. Like these. Put these plastic pieces on them to make them look wider, but that's just a sheet of particle board. You get the plug-in for the microwave up here. These aren't super yeah, not super high-end. Greystone microwave, no convection. You get the stove. I actually prefer these, even though they're in lower end models. It's kind of a stove, just because I've seen so many TikToks of people breaking the induction ones. You get the oven, baby oven, and an industrial looking cover. And there's all your wires. Not much space, even less space. Very clever, I guess. Yeah. The table, what's the table made out of? Some sort of particle board? Yeah. It's got a fancy covering on it. These things, I mean, fairly durable. Like this stuff, this pleather material, I think wears out kind of quickly. This stuff I'm sort of a fan of. Even though the threads will pull and stuff. You get little marks on the leather. That's quite common. And so there's really, I mean, you're right here. You're gonna sleep two comfortably here. You can sleep one semi-adult here, or two kids. I mean, the cabinets, they're not bad. Retail on this thing is $104. So what's a good deal? Maybe 80 grand, brand new. I guess is that the factory, like Camping World, buys it for 50 or 60. Probably 60. So look at, I mean, this bathroom is huge. For such a small RV. And this is really why I like these things, because you compare them to a van. I mean, you can spend 100 grand on a family vehicle, on like a Lincoln Navigator. So, Navigator, this is a lot more space than a Navigator. So, 5'11". I'm touching this thing. But this gives me another 4, 5, 6 inches. So, I mean, this is plastic. It's not that fancy by any means. This is far from residential, as they say in the industry. Residential is in like something you would find in your home. So this is not the size of a fridge that most people choose to put in their homes. So it's not residential. Fridge, freezer, you're like a glorified college student. Very clever. Trash can comes with it. What else? Alright, this bed, I don't hate these things. It's just that you have to pop it out to sleep. Obviously this mattress is probably going to lose a little bit of quality, though it's pretty thick. I'm not trying to knock this mattress. It just folds. So you've got to pop this thing out. Maybe. Then you get the little nightstand here. So maybe once we get to the dealership, they'll pop it out for us. I'm not sure. But until I get an audience, I have no reason to do more work than I need to. Similar type deal. It's like this, all fits together. You see this? Woo! So, tiny, but cute. And for 100 grand, 80 grand, like what you're actually gonna pay. Could vary. I think for 80 grand, this is a fine deal. Because you have trouble getting like a nice truck for 80 grand. So, the walls are going to be fairly thin, but that makes it lighter. The engine doesn't have to be as robust. All the things. I'm going to come up with some kind of a rating system, which is why I called it vehicles rated vehicles. That's the name of the channel. I thought of it last night. But I like these in general. I think the argument for buying one of these things, if you can handle this amount of space, is pretty strong, because you're going to be able to drive a lot of the places that you would a van. The clearance isn't so bad, all the things, but you get a lot more space than a van. And as long, like, if you can technically have people over to sleep, the bathroom is big, bed is comfy enough. One pop out isn't gonna, like, you boondock, which is when you're camping off of hookups, kind of in the wilderness, or even in a Walmart parking lot. So it's not so bad. I think, yeah, if you're in this space, like in this region, like a van or a Class C, these ones from Thor make sense. I typically tend to be skeptical of Thor. They tend to fall apart a little bit faster. They also own about 50% of the industry, which means that Thor is just one brand under Thor's umbrella. And so obviously you kind of have to touch them if you're getting into this space. Winnebago is separate. But yeah, more on that later, I guess. So this is it, and good to go. See you.